Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first video of mine you are seeing, then welcome. I have the Urban Decay Moondust eyeshadow palette that you can get from Ulta. It's the one that is star shaped and you just slide this one open. I think this is just such a really pretty palette and I like the star. I feel like the star might be hit or miss for a lot of people because something like this they might think is a little difficult to store. I don't think it's too big, and it's kind of flat, so I don't believe it would be much of an issue as far as your storage. Considering where you keep your makeup, that might play a factor, but I don't know, I just thought the little star packaging was so super cute. So I'm not sure yet if I want to do 2 looks with this palette or just 1, I'm not sure, but I will be doing live swatches of this one as well as comparisons to the Moondust quad that is from Sephora this year. And we have 4 shades in this one. I want to say that 2 of the shades, I believe these top two shades, I think both of them are in the same palette. So you might want to keep that in mind if you were looking at both of them. As well as I'm also going to be doing swatches comparing it to one of last year's Moondust palettes. Now, there were 2 of these last year at Ulta. I never picked up the other one. I just ended up picking up this one, which was Space Rider. And it has these 4 really beautiful shades right here. I wish now I'd kind of picked up the other one, but I mean, it's really not that big of a deal. So I'm going to be doing swatches, comparisons, and a few looks. So let's go ahead and get started. On a Flawless Concealer brush from e.l.f., I am going to take this shade from this palette, and I'm going to use that just to set like my eyeshadow primer because it looks kind of like my skin tone, just maybe a touch darker than my skin tone. Yeah, because it's like it's adding just a little bit of something there, but it's still going to serve the same purpose, just to set my eyeshadow primer. And regardless of whether I'm doing 1 or 2 looks, I'm going to be doing this same step on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on this eye as well, regardless. As always, I will have all the products I'm using listed and linked for you below. Because I know I'm mostly focusing on like the eyeshadow palette in this video, but everything will be listed and linked for you below there. On a Sigma E24, I'm going to go in with this shade. Alright, we're going to run that right into my crease. It's very pigmented, which is good. I really like these little palettes. Well, now, I haven't used this one, of course, yet, but the other 2 I really do like. Now, I know there's some matte shades in this one, but I love those really sparkly topper shades. I don't know. I've just kind of gotten into those a little bit more. I guess because I usually wear really soft makeup anyway. I don't really wear a lot of heavy eyeshadow. I'm just going to take that brush and I'm going to go in with my Tower 28 pressed powder. I just want to take that and go lightly around the edges. You can definitely go back in with that first shade I used, but I wanted to use something a little bit more translucent than that shade. I'm going to take that same matte shade and I'm going to go on this eye too, because this and the first shade are the ones I knew would stay the same with both looks. I feel like lately I've definitely been going back to kind of how my channel used to be. Like when I first started my channel, I was mostly eyeshadow palettes that I did. Like I did reviews all the time on eyeshadow. And then I kind of got away from it a little bit. I was definitely more into the one and done stuff, which I still am, but I just can easily create those with a palette too if, you know, need be. But I don't know, there's just something lately that I've just been buying some more eyeshadow palettes, but I still do love complexion products. Okay, I'm going to take that Tower 28 powder and we'll go around the edges of this. I'm going to make sure it's nice and blended out. On a Sigma E54, I'm going in with this shade right here. And I'm going to pack that shade on this outer, well, I'll say outer third. It might end up going a little bit in the center, but mostly I want to keep it out here. That shade is incredibly pigmented, like very pigmented. You know, it does have some sparkle in it, but I feel like after I tap my brush off, the sparkle kind of went away, so it just looks like a matte shade now. So if you're not into those matte shades that have sparkle in them, this might not bother you so badly if you tap off your brush, because I feel like the sparkle completely went away on that shade. I'm going back in with that Sigma E24, and I'm going to work around the edges of this deeper shade. Okay, on that E54, I'm going in with this shade right here. And we're going to pack that out here on this side. I figured because I'm only doing 2 eye looks, I'm just going to do them both at the same time. Now, if I was doing more than 2 looks, I probably would do like I usually do, 1 and then do 2 and then I would do more, but since I'm only doing this, that shade's beautiful. I'm having no issues whatsoever with these shades, which I figured not. I've never had an issue with any of the eyeshadows from Urban Decay. One of my all-time favorite palettes is the Wild Greens palette, which sadly has now been discontinued, but I always loved that one. Now there is, of course, some fallout from these shades, which is why I always love to do my eyes first, but I always want to mention any fallout that I might see. It doesn't bother me personally, but I do see it some, especially with that shade right there. There is some fallout right in here, so if you do want this palette, you might want to definitely do your eyes first. Okay, and then I'm going to take this shade right here. I'm going to try to take this shade on my finger. Alright, we're going to go back over here. Ooh. So pretty. Then I'm going to take this shade right here. I mean, look at that shade. That's so beautiful. And that shade is going to go right in here. Now this is definitely much more of a topper shade. Ooh, this eye is so sparkly. Okay, I'm going to go in with my Smashbox and Becca Under Eye Corrector. And let's go ahead and do this under eye too. These eye looks are so pretty. Like, if you love sparkle, I mean, look at this right here. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of my Refi Serum Concealer, just a touch. Like that, just that little small dot. You don't need a lot of this, and because you can see just how much that little dot did. And I'm bringing it a little bit further down because I've mentioned many times before, this shade is just a little too bright for my preferences. So I like to make sure that I kind of brighten up the whole area here and not just like a little semicircle under my eye. I find that it's a good concealer if you don't use too much. I have used too much of it and it really looks very drying and kind of cakey, but I find that if I use just the smallest amount, it looks really nice. I'm going to go back in with this shade right here, and I'm going to mix a little bit of this shade with it. Like, tap mostly into this, but then once into that afterwards. And that shade, I'm going to run all the way across. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other eye as well. We're not going to change up the lower lash line, just keep that the same because I've used all the shades already. And this will kind of tie in back the original two shades that I used. Then of course I'm going to take this shade right here, and we're going to pop that on that inner corner. Oh, that's so pretty. I'm going to swoop that up a little bit. Okay, so there are the two finished eye looks, so I'm going to quickly do the rest of my face and I'll come right back and I'll tell you what I'm wearing for blush and on my lips. Okay, but here we have these two eye looks. I think they're so very pretty. I think that I like this eye a little bit more, but I will say that Space Cowboy Rides Again shade has put a lot of sparkle. It's fallen on my face. Now, if that bothers you, I do want to mention it. It might be a shade that you want to use like some glitter glue, or you might want to spray your brush or something. But now personally, I don't mind it, but I do want to mention it. But right quick, the blush that I'm wearing is the Say Do blush in the shade Chili. And for my lips, I'm wearing the Tower 28 Juice Bomb in the shade Drink. This is incredibly pigmented because this is a lip balm. And that's not even full swipe. I did a little bit on my lower lip and then took my finger and kind of spread it around to the rest, and look at that. So beautiful. It's a really beautiful shade. So let's talk about this little palette right here from Urban Decay, their little Moondust star shaped palette. I think this is pretty, and I love the packaging. I know the packaging might be hit or miss with some people. They might think it's just a little, you know, maybe it's annoying to store, or maybe they're just not feeling it with the star. I think it's cute because I don't have anything in my collection quite like it. Not that shape, but the shades in here are beautiful. I didn't struggle to work with any of them. They blended out very easily, just such beautiful shades, which I've never had any issues with Urban Decay before. I've always loved their eyeshadows. I've never had an issue with them, and this same thing goes for this little palette. I'm really happy to have it in my collection, and I do like that in this one they do give you two matte shades. Well, that one shade does have, it's like a matte with the shimmer in it, but I feel like once I tapped off my brush, that shimmer just went away and it performed like a matte shade. So if you look at it like that, then there's three matte shades in here, but I kind of like that because I know the other palettes are usually just the sparkly shades, which is totally fine, especially for those one and done looks, but I do like that you do get some matte shades in this one, but I'm very happy to have it in my collection. Now, I am filming this video and the next video out of order. If all goes well, this one is going to go up on this coming Monday, and that will be the Monday before Thanksgiving. So for those of you in the US, I do want to wish a very happy Thanksgiving, and for everyone, for all of you, I do hope that you have an amazing week ahead. There won't be a video this coming Friday, but I will be back on the following Monday to see you. So I do hope that your week is amazing, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, I hope you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you are alerted to all my future uploads. Follow me on Instagram at jessicadeerly, and all of these products will be listed and linked for you below. They are affiliate links, so if you click through and purchase, I do earn a small commission, and if you choose to do so, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!